next several days sharing my personal opinion on the female Diksha Guru issue. And again, it's just me, my personal opinions. Everyone has their ideas and opinions on such things. So please just take it as my personal opinions and nothing more than that. No need to be. If you are offended, let me know. And perhaps we can have a discussion offline, trying to have such meaningful, truth seeking discussions via the comments. Doesn't work. We're all mature enough to know that. But if you have something that you find offensive, certainly let me know. If you have something that you recognize that I've got some of the facts wrong, not just opinion, but some of the facts wrong, then I'm certainly willing to learn and understand better. So, the female Diksha Guru issue, if you will, it's multifaceted in so many different ways. Each day I'm going to go over one piece of the entire opinion of mine. Today I'm going to start with what I like to call the foundation of the issue. The foundation is straightforward and then it's across all time. It is even evidenced and proven in empirical studies and in empirical sociological findings. And the foundation is simply this: when women do better, everybody does better. That's the foundation. That's the starting point for this discussion. When women do better, everyone, across the board, all of society, every demographic, every age group, everyone does better. That is not the case with men. It's just not the case. This has been scientifically, the studies that have proven this across decades, centuries, civilizations, cultures, doesn't matter. When women do better, everyone, the entire society does better. Modern studies have verified and affirmed this, and Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita states it very clearly, right? So this is across time. Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna said, if the men are wiped out, the women are not protected. If the women are not protected, it all falls to pieces. So the first thing is protection of women. When women do better, everyone does better. Now, of course, then it begs the question, what does it mean to protect women? That has to be defined. What do you mean by, what defines whether or not women are doing better, right? And then people start throwing across presenting varnashram. That's the very definition for some of what it means for women to do better. Yes, absolutely, and no, absolutely not. Depending on the cultural, regional issues, the cultural, regional nature of a society, what determines whether or not women do better is where this has to be decided in a particular culture, in a particular region. What is defined by a region that is for the well-being of women is what must be put first and foremost. How do you find out what is to the well-being of women? Ask women. It's that simple. It's that simple. Women have to be first and foremost in the conversation. In those societies that are most egalitarian, if you want to use that word, which tend to be the Scandinavian societies, women are at the forefront at deciding what's beneficial for women, what is empowering for women, what is protective of women. And those have turned out to be the most egalitarian societies. Now, what is very interesting is that it's been also studied and found and proven, if you will, that in those societies, when those societies or those societies as they function, women choose to engage in those activities which some would like to call stri dharma. It is very interesting how that's the case, where women are at the forefront of deciding what is empowering for women, what is protective of women, what is what facilitates the well-being of women. When women are at the forefront of deciding those things, implementing those things, and making sure those things are part and parcel of society, women in those societies choose what people would like to call stri dharma, activities that are typically look to be or can be described as stri dharma. Those societies that do not have women at the forefront deciding what women should be doing, do not have women at the forefront of determining what is for the well-being of women, what is empowering for women, when those societies, when you look at those societies, in those societies, what you have is you have a structure that is not to the well-being of women by women's own definition in those social societies, in those civilizations, and you get the pushback against having stri dharma, things that look to be stri dharma, imposed upon women. That's when you have a problem. Stri dharma becomes an imposition upon women, and that's when it all falls to pieces. So, however you define stri dharma, the proof is in the pudding. Women are to be at the forefront of deciding what's for the empowerment of women, what's for the well-being of women, what's for the betterment of women. When women are at the forefront of deciding those things, there is equal opportunity as defined by women, when there is protection of women defined by women. In those societies, women do vastly better, everyone does better, and women choose what we would like to call stri dharma, as of their own volition. An example I like to use is of the military, the U.S. military anyway. Women were not allowed to serve in frontline roles. In some branches, it's still, I don't think it's like that in all branches. I think in most branches, even in Marines and the Army, women can now serve in frontline combat roles. I may be incorrect on the facts of that, but when women were banned from serving in the military, that's where there was pushback. That's where there was discord. But once it became open that the opportunity was for women to serve in combat, women did not sign up in droves to join the army and to be frontline soldiers. They didn't. It wasn't an entire exodus of women from the home into the military. Those who wanted joined, those who didn't. The military will for always be a male, largely male endeavor. It's the same thing with the social structure, including, if you want to use the term varnashram, when you have equal opportunity, when you have empowerment of women in every way, it's the studies show that they will choose what we would like to call stri dharma. They will naturally choose it. This is a proof of the pudding in the most egalitarian societies that we know of. So this idea that we have to impose stri dharma upon women, it doesn't work. It simply doesn't work. Especially if the imposition of stri dharma is not done by women. Let's put it that way. The idea of stri dharma has to be, imposition is the wrong word, but women have to be at the forefront at deciding implementing, defining Stri Dharma in this day and age. If it is imposed upon them by an outside entity, being, force, or group, it's not going to work. That's where you're going to get discord. The more natural way for society to actually run is to give women empowerment, which means also equal opportunity. Give them equal opportunity to join the armed forces. Some will join, absolutely. And not only will some join, those who do join bring an added benefit to the armed forces in their field of activity. That's also been proven, at least in the United States military. Where there are women involved, there is largely positive impacts, positive changes, positive inputs on how to engage in military activities. Now, people are going to immediately say, well, Mahavishnu, there's so many problems when you bring women into the military, so sexual harassment. Well, yeah, of course, because you don't have people who have control of the senses. So don't blame sexual misconduct on the person who is simply existing and not on the person who has no control over the senses. Because Varnashram is about what? Control of the senses. So if you want to talk about Varnashram, it begins at control of the senses. No matter what social structure you try to put in place, if it's not founded on control of the senses, it's not going to work. Varnashram or any other type of society. It must be founded on the fact that there's sense control. And those who are unable to control their senses, they are held to account. So sexual misconduct in the military cannot be blamed on those who are engaged in the sexual misconduct. I can continue to go down that road, but I just want to use this segment to talk about the foundation. The foundation is, and it's been proven across societies, across civilizations, across time, that when women are empowered, when women are uplifted, when women are protected, and they are at the forefront of defining that protection, at the forefront of defining what empowerment and equality is, women do better. And when they do better, the rest of society does better. So tomorrow we'll go over, at least I'll give my opinion on Varnashram, because that's when a lot of this is one place where this completely goes off the rails, is people's using Varnashram, the Varnashram system, as a scapegoat to mask, I won't say to mask, but it's just a different idea of what Varnashram is across the spectrum of discussing this particular issue. But for now, let's chant some Japa. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta. Hare Krishna, have a wonderful day. I shall see you tomorrow at 7:30 a.m.